Rosemary DiCarlo, the United States Deputy Permanent Representative to the United Nations, reported on Iran and Syria's probable plan to become a member of the United Nations Human Rights Council and showed her dislike. The United Nations Human Rights Council, with 47 members, is located in the city of Geneva in Switzerland. Ahmed Shahid, the United Nations Special Rapporteur on Human Rights in Iran, is traveling to the United States and Canada in order to collect information regarding the violations of human rights in the Islamic Republic of Iran. During the past week, Mahmoud Fazli, Ayatollah Mehr Ali Biglu, Latif Hassani, Behboud Gholizadeh, and Shahram Radmeh all went on a hunger strike in the central prison of Tabriz. These prisoners started this indefinite hunger strike in objection to their 9 years imprisonment on charges of forming illegal groups and propagandizing against the regime. These charges were confirmed by the third branch of the Revolutionary Court in Tabriz at the Court of Appeal in East Azerbaijan province. The House of Cinema has been shut down. The managerial committee of the cinema had planned a meeting to be hosted by the House of Cinema of Semnan for Tuesday, the 16th of July, to discuss the need for cooperation of members in organizing general meetings. However, the night before the meeting to be held, the security officer of the Ministry of Culture and Guidance, without any court order, entered the House of Cinema and shut it down, which resulted to gathering an objection of Cinema Committee Union members representing the cinema lovers. Reporters Without Borders, in their recent report about the suppression of freedom of information in Iran, have condemned the heavy sentences issued against the bloggers of the Majzuban-e-Noor website. Furthermore, a number of imprisoned lawyers and activists to preserve rights of dervishes in Evin prison of Tehran and Adilabad prison of Shiraz wrote a letter to Nelson Mandela. This letter was signed by the following imprisoned activists: Abdul Fattah Sultani, Farshid Yadullahi, Amir Islami, Mustafa Danishju, Omid Behrouzi, Hamidreza Moradi, Reza Intisari, Afshin Karampur, Mustafa Abdi, Alireza Roshan, Kasra Nouri, and Salahuddin Moradi.
Mohammad Javad Heshmati, Chief Justice of the City of Gilan, has announced the execution of 7 citizens of Shamgar city on Tuesday the 9th of July in the central prison of Rasht. According to reports of the General Relation of Justice of Ardabil city, on Tuesday the 9th of July, 3 individuals sentenced to death on charges of drug crime were hanged in the central prison of the city. Reports indicate that in the period of only 4 days, the number of executions by hanging has reached 9 in the city. Farhad Fatahi, the Secretary for Organising Student Reformist Group in the city of Qazvin, who was jailed after the protests of the 11th of February 2011, has been sentenced to 5 years imprisonment. On Saturday the 13th of July, the death sentences of the following victims were confirmed and announced to them and their families with charges of violence. They are as follows: Ali Reza Amir Khanafere, Judge Abbasi, Abdullah Mir Majdami, and Shahab Abbasi.
News indicates that the Secretary of the Council of Cyberspace has informed about review of a project which, due to the change in the refinement and filtering system, the users must disclose their identities before entering and using the Internet. On Thursday morning, the 11th of July, Fariba Pajouher, a reformist journalist, was arrested at her home and transferred to Evin prison.
On Saturday the 13th of July, during the gathering of a group of Yarsan's followers regarding the 40th day of Nikmah Tahiri's death, Mohammed Grabouli, the speaker of the event, was arrested in the city of Sana'a. After news spread amongst participants regarding Mohammed Grabouli's arrest, a gathering formed in front of the governor's office in Sana'a city, and people stated that they would not end the gathering until Mohammed Grabouli is released or they're informed about his fate.
On Friday the 12th of July, Nasim Zanjani, a citizen in the city of Tehran who is a new convert to Christianity, was arrested by the security forces in her parental home. Shamim Ettehadi, a Baha'i from the city of Yazd who had been in detention since last March, was sentenced to 5 years imprisonment. The health of Mustafa Danishju, an imprisoned Gonabadi Dervish's lawyer, deteriorated after he was returned to prison from the emergency department of the hospital without finishing the treatment. 7 Gonabadi dervishes consisting of managers of Majzuban Nur website and dervishes' lawyers were sentenced to over 56 years of imprisonment in Branch 15 of Tehran Revolutionary Court by Judge Salavati. Accordingly, Hamid Reza Moradi Sarvestani was sentenced to 10 years and 6 months, Reza Entasari to 8 years and 6 months, and Mustafa Danishju, Farshid Yadullahi Farsi, Amir Islami, Omid Behruzi, and Afshin Karampur were each sentenced to 7.5 years imprisonment. Additionally, they were banned from participating in any groups, parties, sects, media, and cyberspace. Sentences of 4 Arab citizens in the city of Shadagan, who were previously sentenced to death in revolutionary court in the city of Ahvaz, was confirmed by the country's Supreme Court.
On the 13th of July 2013, the students of the University of Tehran were confronted with an agreement letter in their training book, indicating dress codes at the university. It reads as follows: I have read the terms and conditions of dress codes of the University of Tehran and agreed to implement it. Last week, on Saturday the 13th of July, 235 workers of the Zagros Steel Melting Company for the third consecutive day, by gathering in front of the city of Sanandaj Province building, protested against expulsion and not receiving any financial claims. After 29 days of hunger strike by workers of Sharia Turbine Parts Factory, negotiations between employees' representatives and managements have not concluded and the strike of the workers continues. Kamal Alipour Konakdari, a member of Commissaries of Civil of the Parliament, by criticising the method of the parliamentary inspection, indicated that steel workers have not received their salaries for 3 months. On Monday, the 15th of July 2013, in continuation to the protests of the 250 workers of the steel factory of Kurdistan who have been expelled from their jobs, the owners gathered outside the office of the Supreme Leader in Pastor Street in Tehran and demanded to be given the opportunity to go back to their jobs. The physical condition of Reza Shahabi, board member of the Syndicate of Workers of Tehran and Suburb Bus, who is currently in prison, has been reported to be critical. Last week, with regards to installing security cameras in the women's quarters of prison, the judiciary of the Islamic Republic of Iran's officials ordered that the female officers check and monitor the security cameras. However, on various occasions, male officers have been intruding into women's quarters without any legal consent. This has caused the women of these quarters to feel great discomfort and unease. It is reported that the family members and relatives of Ar Bedahi, a political prisoner and a board member of the Teachers' Union in Tehran, have been intimidated in Kudasht and Islamshar by members of the authority. The son of Mohammed Amin Argushi, a prisoner in the central prison of Zahedan, has announced the start of his father's hunger strike. Contradictory to what Tehran's prosecutor's office have been saying in the past several months, that the ministry has opposed the release of Majid Tavakoli, the student sources report that the Tehran prosecutor has been opposing the release of Majid. Khusru and Masoud Kurdpur continue to live in limbo in Mahabad prison. According to reports, with the intense heat, power failure, lack of segregation of prisoners based on their charges, and the problem of long distance for his family, the condition of Amir Reza Payman Arefi has been reported to be very poor. Dr. Ali Nazeri, a dentist and political and civil rights activist with affiliation to the National Front of Iran in Evin prison, was sent in exile on a stretcher to Zabul prison. According to the news received, Mr. Mohammad Reza Pour Shajari, a 51-year-old blogger who is suffering from heart problems and prostate, has recently been faced with new problems.
Gholam Ali Riahi, the lawyer of Faize Hashemi Rafsanjani, wrote, "In order to deal with my client's charges of disorderly conduct during her 6 months in prison, it has been planned to have arraigned in the Branch 15 of the Revolutionary Court on Wednesday the 7th of August. Following the transfer of Ali Nazeri from special care of Evin prison to Zabul prison, prisoners of Section 350 of Evin prison protested against this action, and consequently 6 political prisoners were transferred to solitary confinement. A 20-year-old Iranian youngster was killed in Urumia border. He was shot dead by the Islamic Republic patrol guards when he was about to be smuggled from Iran to Turkey.